How's everyone doing? And welcome to another top 10 most expensive. But today, in doing the most expensive, we are doing the most powerful Pokemon cards that there are for the TCG player game. So if you enter in tournaments and do any type of tournament play with Pokemon cards, this will probably be one of the more important videos for you to watch to see what cards you should be throwing in your deck and what type of deck you should be playing. Now, we're not going to do the typical prices from least expensive to most expensive on a top 10 scale. Instead, we're going to be doing the number 10 best Pokemon card to use to the number 1 best Pokemon card you can use in a Pokemon TCG player deck. So it's going to be a little different than how we normally do this, but I think you guys are going to find this video very entertaining today. So please go ahead before I start to smash that like button. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments below what you would like to see on the next week's top 10. Either most expensive, most powerful, most well-known, most whatever. And here we go. At the number 10 strongest Pokemon card that is currently up to date is something that I would not have thought of. It is a Comfey. Now, the reason why it is a Comfey as a number 10 from Lost Origin is because it says when Lost Origin came out in October, we were introduced to a whole new way to use the Lost Zone. Previously, the Lost functioned as a separate discard pile where cards couldn't be recovered from, and that was about it. Lost Origin introduced cards that cared about the number of cards in the Lost Zone, like Cramorant, Mirage Gate, and Sableye. So I guess that's the reason why Comfey comes into play at number 10, meaning that the Lost Zone could be more of a functional purpose when playing the game. To have this card, I guess, would better activate it, better put you in a position of winning. I'm not 100% sure, as I have not used Comfey in the TCG player game, but if TCG player is saying it's number 10, then it's got to be true. It's only worth 71 cents though, so stock up. At number 9, we have ourselves the Lugia V-Star. This card says, while the Lugia V-Star has been legal in the standard format for only a month, it has made massive waves in the metagame. When combined with Artrovis SIT, Lugia V-Star has become the unquestionable best deck in standard. It has a damage of 220 from Tempest Dive, and if you're curious, it is worth $9.92. And if any deck that you have a Lugia in, I would be afraid of, as Lugia is a godly type Pokemon, so obviously they're not going to nerf it like they would a Mewtwo from base set. At least I'm hoping they wouldn't. At number 8, we have ourselves a Radiant Charizard from Pokemon Go. Radiant Pokemon were a new mechanic released in 2022, which were similar to the old ACE spec mechanic from the black and white sets. Radiant Pokemon are more powerful than usual single prize Pokemon, but you can only have a single Radiant Pokemon in your deck. Some of them ended up being really strong, and Radiant Charizard was one of them. Radiant Charizard has a hefty attack cost, but the Excited Heart ability reduced the cost of its attack for each prize card your opponent has taken. This makes Radiant Charizard an excellent late game attacker, as it does 250 damage for every single energy when your opponent has 1 or 2 prize cards left. Radiant Charizard even won a regional championship in a deck by itself. Just focus on using Rihan and Twin Energy. To use a Combustion Blast over and over again, Radiant Charizard is also very easy to splash in any deck because it only requires you to be playing Fire Energy. For a versatile and powerful, Charizard beat out almost every Radiant Pokemon in 2022. Really does explain why Charizard has the number 8 spot. Then again, it is a Charizard, so I do have a feeling that you would be seeing Charizard more often in this top 10. At number 7, we have Origin Form Palkia V-Star, price tag of $243. Well, Palkia V-Star isn't at the top of the format right now. It is it is such a big player in the metagame that it's worth it being on this list. Palkia V-Star has never an incredibly explosive deck. It never did anything unfair, but it was incredibly efficient and consistent. When combined with the Italian engine, Palkia V-Star was just a solid deck that used subspace swell in almost every turn of the game. You were able to threaten massive swing turns in the late game, potentially using Roxanne and Cross Switcher in the same turn. Palkia V-Star was always a safe choice for tournaments and was the most played deck at the Pokemon World Championship this year, with almost half the field playing a Palkia V-Star / Inteleon. For that, it takes number 7 on this list. Coming in at number 6, we have Claressa's Experiment. Now, this is just a support card, but if it's holding number 6, it's got to be worth something. Well, I did mention the Lost Zone engine earlier with Comfy. Claressa's Experiment is the main support used to fill up your Lost Zone. However, Claressa's Experiment has been a solid card even outside of the Lost Zone decks, having seen play in decks from Duraldon VMAX, Gudra V-Star, and even Yveltal Control. Claressa's Experiment is similar to Sage's Training, but slightly stronger. Claressa's Experiment nets you an extra card over Sage's Training, but puts the cards you don't want into the Lost Zone. In decks without synergy with the discard pile, Claressa's Experiment is a very solid draw supporter. It is rare to see a card that are built for a specific engine become powerful outside of their engine. Number 5, we have Erudite. Cost $1.68. While Erudite mostly saw play in Palkia V-Star / Inteleon, it was the card which made that deck so powerful. Erudite completely changed the way that Pokemon was built, allowing you to play cards such as Cross Switcher, Battle VIP Pass. Erudite allowed you to play the absolute minimum count for every card you needed, because with Erudite and the Italian engine, you were able to access almost your whole deck. Erudite also saw success in Radiant Charizard / Italian decks, which, similar to Palkia V-Star, could play cards like Cross Switcher. Finally, Erudite was played in the Articuno / Italian deck, which started cropping up at the very end of the year, showing that is a strong card for the Italian engine no matter where it appears. At number 4, we have ourselves a very popular, if you do not know about it yet, Radiant Greninja. Cost $3.65, but I'm seeing it go for like $15 right now because of how popular it is. Radiant Greninja is another card which we saw a ton of play in the Palkia V-Star, but it was also a very solid card otherwise. In Palkia V-Star decks, Radiant Greninja functioned both as a draw engine and an attacker. While Moonlight Shuriken could be blocked by Manphy BRS, forcing every single opponent to have a Manphy on their bench at all times was often very disruptive. Palkia decks could even pressure the opposing Manphy with Cross Switch, or even slowly knocking it out with quick shooting ability from Italian CRE. Radiant Greninja has also become a major player in the Mirage Gate Lost Zone decks. The Concealed Cards ability is huge for helping you to draw through your deck, and these decks also play several copies of Water Energy to threaten a Moonlight Shuriken. Overall, Radiant Greninja forces your opponent to play differently, and few cards do so much for so little investment. At number 3, we have the Arceus V-Star. Price $10.02. It is rare that we see the same deck win both the North American International Champions and the World Champions, but it happened this year with the Arceus V-Star / Flying Pikachu VMAX deck. However, Arceus V-Star was incredibly successful when it wasn't paired with Flying VMAX. Arceus saw success in Italian SSH, Beedrill CRE, Melmurax VMAX, Duraldon VMAX, Gudra V-Star, Giratina V-Star, Rayquaza V-Star, Aragon VMAX, Charizard VMAX, Ice Rider, Ceralax VMAX, Shadow Rider VMAX, Striker Urshifu VMAX, Gyarados VMAX, Lucario V-Star, Sylveon VMAX, Whimsicott V-Star, Corviknight VMAX, and Galarian Moltres EVS. While some of these variants saw more success than others, every single one of these decks has made day 2 at a tournament this session, which is a testament to the versatility of Arceus V-Star. The Training Nova attack searches out any 3 basic energies from your deck and attaches them to the Pokemon V, letting you power up a whole variety of different Pokemon. In addition, Starboard V-Star power made your deck incredibly consistent, letting you search for any 2 cards, often finding a double turbo energy to set up for a 2-turn Trinity Nova. For its consistency and versatile, Arceus V-Star more than earns its spot on this list. But it is only number 3. And number 2 is a Choice Belt. Going price is 7 cents. Buy 'em. Steroid your deck. Which, while Choice Belt is a seamless in a cost card, the format would be so radically altered if Choice Belt didn't exist. So many decks really rely on Choice Belt to hit extra numbers for a one-hit knockout, and without it, I think the whole metagame would be significantly different. One-hit knockouts would be significantly less prevalent, and defensive strategies would actually stand a chance. Almost every single deck is affected by Choice Belt existing, whether they choose to play it or not. Cards like Radiant Charizard, Zeraora, VIV, and Mew VMAX were all significantly affected by Choice Belt and would have ranged from significantly worse to borderline unplayable if Choice Belt didn't exist. Choice Belt isn't exactly an exciting card to include this high on the list of the best cards from 2022, but its impact on the format has been felt in so many ways that I believe that it fully deserves the number 2 spot. And at number 1, we have Double Turbo Energy. I know what this card is. I've actually used this card. It is significantly helpful, but I didn't realize it is number 1 spot worthy helpful. With the market price of 25 cents, get them while you can. Double Turbo Energy, like Choice Belt, is quite a boring card to pick this high. However, if you have ever played any high-level tournaments recently, I want you to think back to what percentage of rounds you played against decks with Double Turbo Energy. I would guess that at an absolute minimum, it was just above 50%, which is a lot. Double Turbo Energy has shaped the way we have constructed decks for a whole year, from Mew VMAX back in March to Arceus V-Star decks in the middle of the year to Lugia V-Star now. Double Turbo Energy has been the linchpin to several of the most successful archetypes of 2022. It also creates a ton of interesting design space for the Pokemon TCG, effectively allowing the card designers to create attacks that cost 1.5 energy by making them 2 colorless energies. While double colorless energy has been deemed too powerful this standard format, its underpowered cousin Double Turbo Energy lives on and will continue to defy the metagame for the rest of its legitimacy. That's my list of the best cards released in 2022. Lists like this are highly subjective, and I would be interested in hearing your take on which cards I got right or very wrong. I am really excited for the 2023, and Scarlet and Violet will be bringing you the Pokemon world. Hopefully, it will have less than 500 HP. Writer, Natalia Miller from TCG Player. So, that concludes the top 10 strongest, most powerful Pokemon cards that there are. If you don't use any of those cards on the list for your TCG Player game, I do highly suggest that you go ahead and you get some so you can use them in your decks as well. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's top 10 as we did things a little bit differently. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of today's video, and if I should keep doing videos different like this, or if I should just stick to price point Pokemon cards and the worth that they are. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to like this video, sub if you haven't yet, turn on notifications for more entertaining videos, and comment down below on what you thought of today's video. Thank you everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out. Catch you next time.